Well, good evening again. Hope you all enjoyed your dinner. And so we now begin our formal part of the program. And I'd like to begin by just paying tribute to all the students here in this room who received Outstanding Academic Achievement Awards this evening. For those of you who don't know, these are the students who are in the top 2% of the sophomore, junior, and senior classes and have distinguished themselves both inside and outside the classroom. So if maybe the simple thing is, why doesn't everyone who received this award just please stand up and we'll recognize you? Well, let me congratulate all of you on your achievements. You are our best students in a highly competitive group. If you think about the winnowing that happens, we admit an extraordinarily talented group of freshmen. They come here and you've now excelled in that already distinguished cohort. But of course, none of us learns alone, and so I think it's important for me to thank a lot of people, in addition, of course, to you students who have done so extraordinarily well. Obviously, the faculty and the deans provide the environment in which you can learn and flourish. Many of your faculty are here. Those faculty help you by caring about your education and by nurturing you. At the table I was sitting at, many of the students around that table, virtually everyone, had had a research experience in which a faculty member worked closely with the student. It's through that interaction between the faculty and great students that we build a truly great university. It's what I often refer to as the virtuous cycle. We attract a great faculty in no small measure because they want to work with great students. And we can attract great students because they want to work with great faculty. And once a university gets that engine working, and once everyone understands that we bring extraordinary students here and extraordinary faculty here, it builds upon itself. And I think this is very much part of the rise of GW, as we've continued to attract the absolute best faculty, who then in turn educate and attract great students. It's something President Knapp and I are extraordinarily proud of, and we want to thank you all for just being part of that. This is a great place doing great things, and you students who have excelled are at the absolute leading edge of that new wave for GW. So with that, I'd like to do one more thing, which is finals are fast approaching. Many of you are engaged in planning for studying for finals, writing term papers. My wife and I had a pancake breakfast at our house, as we do every month, and we got to talk to the students, and we were beginning to see that slight edge of panic as what, that horizon when you start the semester, well, that term paper is months and months away, begins to shrink on you. It was very interesting when we do this, we do it as an open house, and so people can come anytime between 10:30 and 12:30. In the beginning of the semester, people arrive late and stay late, because after all, it's a Sunday and that term project's pretty far away. Each month we do it as we approach the end of the semester. People arrive early, eat, and then they leave because they actually have to get their work done. And you can almost track the academic semester by just tracking when the house empties out for breakfast. And the earlier it empties out, the later it is in the semester. So we wish you all the best, and certainly those of you who are graduating in May, we're really looking forward to our commencement on the National Mall, and an incredible, exciting event for those of you who've never been there. So with that, it is now my great pleasure to introduce the president of George Washington University, Stephen Knapp.
Thank you very much, Provost Lerman. This is a great evening every year, and I have to say it's one I really enjoy because I don't have to do very much. I'm actually going to be sitting out in the audience. I don't even have to shake hands or pose for photos. We did that ahead of time, but I really get to listen to stories that really bring home the essence of what we're about as an institution, which is as the provost has said, it's our opportunity to teach the terrific students who are here with us. And I do want to congratulate all of you who rose earlier, the Outstanding Academic Achievement Awardees. I was a little surprised to learn one thing tonight, though, because the provost was talking a lot about finals. I actually thought that you were all excused from finals once you won this award. Is that not true? Well, anyway, it's a surprise, maybe not a surprise to you, a surprise for me. But I do want to thank the parents and family members who have come here. Maybe if you wouldn't mind, if I don't want to embarrass anybody, but if you wouldn't mind just standing and being recognized as well, all the parents and family members who have come to be with us tonight, I'd like to just have people see that they're here. So if you could just give us a quick, real quick. Thank you very much. Thank you. And of course, the faculty. And the faculty are here. I think it's another wonderful expression is the fact that our faculty come here to support the students that they've worked with during the course of the academic year. In a moment, we're going to hear from the distinguished scholars, and I have to say that I'm very grateful to the work that the deans all put into this process when all of these scholars have been chosen by their schools for their academic performance, their intellectual promise, and faculty, staff, parents, family members are all part of the process of bringing these students to this point, and we're going to hear their stories in a moment. One of the things I get to do, though, and my only role here, except to be able to watch and to listen, is to give a gift to all of you students who we're honoring this evening, and it takes the form of a book. This year, which is the 101st year that the George Washington University has been here in Foggy Bottom, where we always like to say that we provide a front row seat in the theater of history for our students. This year marks the 50th anniversary of what was probably the most important and influential speech given in the United States since the Gettysburg Address, which was about 100 years earlier. So we're about 150 years from the Gettysburg Address. That's coming up. That anniversary is coming up shortly. And on August 28th, we will mark the 50th anniversary of the speech given by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., just a few blocks from here on August 28th. It was the I Have a Dream speech. And to mark that anniversary, which our students were part of, this was 1963. A lot of our students were down there on the Mall and actually heard that speech live. That really was the culminating moment in the emergence of what is now known as the Civil Rights Movement. And there is an author actually lives in Maryland named Taylor Branch, who has written a magisterial set of volumes, actually 3 volumes, on the work of Dr. Martin Luther King and also on the Civil Rights Movement that he led. And so the gift I've selected this year is a volume that the 3 volumes run to more than 1,000 pages, and I know you got a lot to do this summer, so this isn't quite that large. This is a book called The King Years: Historic Moments in the Civil Rights Movement by Taylor Branch, winner of the Pulitzer Prize, and it's an excerpt from his 3 volumes. So if you become really, if you catch fire having read this, then of course I encourage you to read the rest of those 3 volumes, which have been very well, very critically acclaimed. So this is my gift to you. I hope you will enjoy reading it this summer, and it's a token from me to you in honor of your achievements. And it's now my pleasure to begin the formal program by turning it over to Adele Ashkar, who's Associate Dean for Academic Excellence and Director of Landscape Design and Sustainable Landscape Programs in the College of Professional Studies. Dean Ashkar.
I think I need a few more inches here. President Knapp, Provost Lerman, I'm pleased to present the distinguished scholar from the College of Professional Studies, Charles Tillman Snead IV. Like many CPS students, Till has taken quite a circuitous route to get to this eventful day. After high school and 1 year in college, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 1998. 4.5 years later, he was honorably discharged with several commendations, including a Meritorious Mast, Good Conduct Award, and the National Defense Service Ribbon and Medal. He then attended federal law enforcement training in Georgia and was sworn in as a U.S. Capitol Police officer in 2003. But his story doesn't end there. Inspired by his girlfriend, Emily Olson, who's here this evening, who earned her master's in security and safety leadership at GW, Till returned to school in 2009 to complete his bachelor's degree. Enrolling first at the Northern Virginia Community College, where he placed on the dean's list every semester. He earned his associate degree there, and in 2011, he came to GW in the police science program. Predictably, Till has excelled in the program and is held as an example by his classmates. Always calm, friendly, and thoughtful, he quickly became a student leader and put time and effort into his work beyond all expectations. He's very proud of his success and accomplishments as a student, a father of an 11-year-old son, and a law enforcement professional, and so are we. Till?
Wow, well, she made me feel pretty important. I appreciate that. Thank you, ma'am. Before I begin this evening, I would like to, if we could, because of the recent events that have transpired, if we could just dedicate a brief moment of silence to the families and friends that have lost loved ones in the Boston bombings. If we could please do that for a second, please. Thank you. That incident kind of hit home, not only because I'm an 11-year-old son, but just because I have been doing police work for 14 and a half years. And it was incredible, the effort that they put forth to capture the two suspects and everything, the events that transpired. But, you know, when you have kids of your own, it's one of those things that you really start to think about. You know, it can happen anywhere. And it really made me think and appreciate what I have that much more. So with that being said, I would just like to thank the friends, faculty, and family for their attendance at this prestigious event tonight. I would also like to thank President Stephen Knapp and the Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs for affording me the opportunity to attend tonight's event. I would like to thank the faculty and professors for all their hard work and determination. Without them, this would not be possible. And a lot of this is focused, you know, a lot of this is directed towards us tonight because we have obviously students out here that have excelled academically, distinguished scholars and everything, but I always like to make a comparison to athletics. And the comparison I like to make with faculty is kind of like a Heisman candidate, you know, accepting an award, you know, and not really giving coaches any credit, because without the teachers, none of this would be possible. So, you know, they really allow the students to, you know, bring out the best, their potential, and to excel academically. So I appreciate that. With regards to academics as well as athletics, it's been kind of a long journey for me academically over the last few years. I'm pretty proud, and my mom always pushed academics when I was younger. I didn't really put forth the effort in high school like I should have. I actually, the other day when I found out I was selected to attend this event, I was kind of caught by surprise. The head guy in charge of the College of Professional Studies, the Police Science and the Security and Safety Leadership Master's Program, he said, "When you get a brief moment, I'd like to talk to you when you go on break." And I was thinking, okay, what's going on? Am I in trouble? I paid my tuition on time. I don't know what's going on here. So halfway down the hall, he goes, "Well, I have good news for you." And I kind of like took a deep breath, and I was like, okay. And he called me and told me I was selected. And I had put a lot of hard work into it. And I hope that, you know, briefly, without going over my 2-minute limit too much, I would like to provide a little bit of encouragement, too, for some of the younger students that are here tonight. But before I do that, I'd like to thank a few people: Dr. Frederick Lemieux, Commander Andrew Solberg of Metropolitan Police, Commander Keith Williams, Eric Martin, John Piccarelli, Jennifer Flagg, Melinda Hall, Jeff Dolinsky, Judith Vader, Donna Minnick, Burt Glassman, for the wealth of knowledge pertaining to law enforcement over the last 2 years. They've been great. I've been in the police science program for 2 years. I've been doing law enforcement for 14 and a half, and every single professor has something to offer. Commanders in Metropolitan, they have stories. They're just a wealth of knowledge. Without even having to crack open the textbook, they can just educate us on, you know, based on their personal experiences within their departments. And everybody in my program is also a police officer, so we can relate to each other a little better. I'd like to thank my mom, she's right over here, for always being a devoted mother, encouraging and enhancing our academic success as a child. I didn't, better late than never. I had, it's interesting because that's my girlfriend over there, Emily Olson. She, when I told her I was selected for this, I told her, I said, well, should I mention in my speech when I get up here for the 2 minutes that I had a 2.2 GPA in high school? And she goes, you had a 2.2 GPA in high school? She said, if I would have known that, I would have never started dating you. And I said, well, it's a good thing I told you 4 years after we started dating, because now I'm good. So I thought that was pretty funny, but but anyway, it just goes to show you how, now I have a 4.0. I had a 2.2 back then. I just played football, wrestled, and lifted weights in high school. I didn't really do much at all. Other than sports, I considered that to be the most important, So, now I consider academics and I'm a father of an 11-year-old boy who's been great throughout this whole process here. I'd like to thank my dad for always teaching me the importance of good work ethic and always demonstrating that as I was growing up. He always told me if you start a job, finish it, and I think I've demonstrated that over the last few years, so I appreciate that. I'd like to thank my mom and dad for instilling the necessary qualities in me that have influenced my dedication to success. I'd also like to thank my 11-year-old son for being patient over the last 2 years. I've had papers, on the weekends. My parents haven't always been able to watch them, and he's been extremely patient. A lot of video games, book reading, movies, and Dad, when are we going to leave the house, stuff like that. So he's been great. I appreciate that, and it will get easier when I finish school. I just want to promise. So, but anyway, I just want to thank my girlfriend, Emily Olson, for encouraging me. She's over here. I'm a beautiful girlfriend sitting at the table right here. She actually went through the Master's Security and Safety Leadership Program, and she kind of convinced me. I got out of the Marine Corps in 2003. Got on with Capitol Police in 2003, and then it wasn't until, I think, 2007 that I went back to Northern Virginia Community College. And ever since, I've been doing well. She encouraged me to go back, not only to enhance my career, but, possibly to explore other options within law enforcement. So I appreciate the extra bit of encouragement and kind of pushing me in the right direction. I would also to pass on to some of the younger students. I mean, everybody here is obviously an outstanding student, and looking around, all you guys, come from good families and had positive role models growing up and everything. But the one thing that I've learned over the years, and just from having the 2.2 in high school and from not really applying myself, is that with hard work and determination, anything is possible. So, I was always the one in high school that was, just playing sports, and everybody was like, oh, he's just kind of like, a dumb jock. He's got, a D in biology, this, that, and the other. And, it's just good to get out and actually prove to yourself that you can excel academically. So, nothing is really unattainable. With hard work and determination is really key. The police science program has helped me to view law enforcement from a different perspective, both from an administrative and psychological standpoint. It's made me a better police officer, a better leader, and a better person. And I would like to end on one of my favorite quotes by Thomas Jefferson. Nothing can stop a man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude. Thank you.
It is my great pleasure to go next from representing the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences at George Washington University, and I'm introducing Adam Bethke. Thank you. Adam, I'm going to introduce you first by indicating you're a double major in criminal justice and political science with a focus on public policy, but then to tell you what your nominator said. Fran Buntman, professor in sociology, said, Adam is deeply curious. I use the term deeply intentionally because Adam seeks depth and connections. Well before finishing his senior year, he had read tens, maybe hundreds of books and articles that would be on the required reading lists of doctoral students in similar fields. He read these because I'd mention a book in conversation, or he'd read about it in a journal article, or hear about it in an academic or policy talk, and decided it sounded interesting and important. He'd find it, read it, think about it, and incorporate its insights and make connections with other bodies of research and understanding. This is an excellent, excellent student here. He's done his own work supported by the university and supported by his own perseverance in looking at sentencing policy, looking at written materials and also interviewing judges and others to find out about changes over time and thoughts about sentencing. He is currently interning with Campaign for Fair Sentencing Youth, and he's looking forward to next year being a graduate student in the Trachtenberg School of Public Policy and Public Administration and being a presidential administrative fellow right here at George Washington University. Congratulations, Adam.
Thank you again, Dean Barrett, and congratulations on your term as the Dean of Columbian College. I wish you the best of luck next year on your Fulbright. In addition to everybody that we've already thanked tonight, I'd like to take the opportunity to especially thank two of the people who have been really important to me over the years. I'd like to thank both Dr. Buntman and then also Dr. Hoyt O'Connor. Unfortunately, Dr. Buntman couldn't be here tonight. Nevertheless, I'd like to thank her for the incredible influence that she has had on my life over the last 3 years. I don't thank her nearly often enough. The submission deadlines, the interviews that took hours longer than we thought they would, and the unwavering personal and professional advising that she has provided to me don't begin to encompass all of what she has done for me. She has taught me so much about the criminal justice and sentencing policy, and so much more about the importance of caring about others. Dr. Hoyt O'Connor, your guidance and assistance have helped me find opportunities that have made my time at GW a fulfilling experience. Your support and guidance in the development of research proposals, Fulbright applications, and other fellowships has truly shaped my GW experience, sending me literally across the world. The time you have invested in supporting me, even when my decisions ended up not matching your suggestions, means so much to me. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the University Honors Program, which has challenged me to think about the ways that ideas interconnect and broaden my exposure to critical ideas in areas of study that I otherwise would not have thought of. Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my fellow honoree, Carolyn Stalgaitis, and especially my family, who have been with me throughout this experience and read more drafts of my thesis than I imagined they'd care to remember. This is the part where they'd like me to plug for undergraduate research. And I'm more than happy to oblige, actually. Undergraduate research has been, without a doubt, the most important part of my academic experience. The value of the experience has been, at least for me, the development of research, critical thinking, and writing skills that it has required. The interviewing, textual analysis, and writing, the pages and pages and pages of writing, that has been required by the research projects that I've been fortunate to be a part of, have truly allowed me to develop these skills, and I know I'll continue to draw on them in the future. Moreover, the skills that it helps you to develop are important no matter where you end up after finishing your research and graduating from the university. Even if you end up somewhere completely different from the field where you're doing your research as an undergraduate, in my case, I'm moving to a graduate program in a different area, the skills that you find will be transferable and absolutely invaluable. If you still have the opportunity to do undergraduate research, I cannot encourage you highly enough to look at the opportunities available to you. Thank you.
It is also my pleasure to introduce Adam Bethke's freshman roommate, Paul Seltzer. And he is a major in women's studies. He was nominated by Professor Jennifer Nash in American Studies and Women's Studies. She says Paul Seltzer is an absolute star. He is without a doubt the most impressive student I've worked with at GW. He's brilliant, curious, passionate, engaged, empathetic, kind, and driven by a deep desire to change the world. The college has been improved by his presence here, and I can't think of anyone more worthy of this honor. He's had 8 semesters on the dean's list here and also has been supported by GW in his research. He's worked in an independent project in the area of the meaning of student debt, and he's had an opportunity to present papers at 2 conferences in this area for professionals, one at the LGBTQ Studies Symposium and also at a conference on disabilities. He already has an article under review for publication in the academic journal Feminist Studies and has taken a couple of graduate seminars, one on global domestic labor studies, and it is that area of labor that he's thinking about pursuing for his next stop. My pleasure to introduce Paul Seltzer.
Thank you, Dean Barrett. It's an honor to have won this award, and it definitely would not have been possible without support from my family, my friends, and all of the teachers in my life. But I do want to thank 4 people in this room specifically: Ann Schwartz, Chelsea Faluna, Rachel Riedner, and Dan Moschenberg, for being wonderful comrades and mentors for my 4 years at GW. And I'd also like to thank Jen Nash and Kavita Daya for the same thing, though they can't be in this room tonight. I'd also like to thank the Marvin Center workers for setting up this room and for making the food we just ate so that this event could be possible. Actually, neither this event nor anything on campus is possible without workers at GW. Workers are important members of our university community. And as scholars, I think it's important that we all remember that the academic work we do very much depends on the cleaning work and on the food prep work that GW workers do. Both alongside and as part of my academic life at GW, I've organized with friends in the GW Progressive Student Union. One thing we did was organize student worker breakfasts. So once a week, we prepared food, we booked a room in the Marvin Center, and we shared a meal with some of the many workers that make GW function every day. And at these breakfasts, we made friends with the workers that carry over to this very day. Through these morning meals, as well as through my classes in women's studies, I learned some important things about work and about community, namely that it takes a lot of work to build a community. It involves taking the time to listen, to talk, and to build relationships with different people, even if it's not so convenient for you, and even if there are institutional barriers in place that prevent people like students and workers from ever interacting. But I also learned that as scholars, our academic work must not stop at making intellectual connections. It has to continue into making human connections. And in turn, those connections must continue into making a better world, starting on our campus, possibly over breakfast. So thank you very much. It's an honor.
Good evening. I'm Mike Brown, Dean of GW's Elliott School of International Affairs, and it's my privilege to introduce Jane Olmstead-Rumsey, this year's recipient of the Elliott School's Distinguished Scholar Award. Jane is an international affairs major, concentrating in international development studies with a double major in economics. As a freshman, Jane received the Eccles Prize for Freshman Research Excellence for her paper on rhetoric and U.S. intervention in Chile in 1973. She's also received a Gemov Fellowship and a fellowship from the GW Office of the Vice President for Research. Jane's interest in international affairs and economics began on her Minneapolis High School debate team. She's participated on GW's debate team as well, and she has served as an assistant debate coach for T.C. Williams High School in Alexandria, Virginia. Jane has studied Spanish, and during her time at GW, she has studied abroad in Costa Rica and in Ecuador. In Costa Rica, she traveled to the remote offices of a forestry program conducting interviews for an independent research project. In the words of one of Jane's professors, she is an all-around scholar with a keen and inquisitive intellect. Now, many of you have heard about a phenomenon called senioritis, where seniors take it easy, especially in the spring semester of the senior year. Jane was telling me at dinner she's taking a couple of additional elective math courses this semester to prepare for future studies as she pursues a PhD in economics. So that's senioritis GW style. Following graduation, Jane will finish her current consulting position at the World Bank, and in the fall she will start a research assistant position at the Federal Reserve Board. And as I said, she plans to go on to pursue a PhD in economics later on. Ladies and gentlemen, Jane Olmstead-Rumsey.
Thanks so much, Dean Brown. I'm so honored to be recognized today among my Elliott School classmates as our school's distinguished scholar. Thank you so much. I want to begin by thanking my faculty guest, Ender Sood, who is here. And he and I have been working together for a year and a half now, doing research on World Bank governance and now at the World Bank on fragile and conflict-affected states. Collaborating with him has taught me so much, not just about the inner workings of the World Bank and development projects, but also about researching, reading, and writing. This collaboration wouldn't have been possible without the support of the Institute for International Economic Policy at the Elliott School, so I'd like to thank them as well. I began at IIEP as a sophomore, and in many ways my time there has been critical to my growth as an academic. Both research projects mentioned in my introduction were facilitated by professors at IIEP, James Foster and Paul Carrillo, who aren't here tonight, but I would like to thank them as well. And as a senior in my last few weeks of undergrad, I've become pretty nostalgic and reflective about my last 4 years at GW. I really have to say I'm in awe of the education that I've received from the Elliott School. This admiration and respect for my education extends to my classmates, many of whom are lifelong friends and some of whom are here today. Hi, Preston. This admiration also extends to professors, some of whom I've already mentioned, to countless policy experts I've seen speak here during my 4 years, and also to all the staff who keep the school running. My advice to you sophomores and juniors in the audience is to step out of the library and to soak it up. Soak up this amazing location and get to know parts of DC you don't normally visit. Soak up the talks and speaker events that take place on campus every day. Learn about the experiences of your peers at home and abroad. Take advantage of the unique independent research opportunities and study abroad options GW has to offer. And no, I was not asked to plug those opportunities. I really do think that they're great, and you should all take advantage of them. And these will really be the things that you remember as you prepare to graduate. So once again, thanks so much to everyone who helped me get here, and congratulations to all of you. I think your accomplishments are absolutely stunning, so congrats.
Good evening. I'm Isabelle Bajeux. I'm the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs in the School of Business. And I'm extremely honored tonight to introduce Mark Buente as the Distinguished Scholar for the GW School of Business. Mark has served as an outstanding student leader at GW for the past 3 years. And his trademark has been his ability to evaluate programs and then move them towards improvement and innovation. Mark served as a mentor for our first-year development program, led the sports management track for our New York track program for 2 years, and empowered and inspired service in freshmen as a community building program for 3 years. He traveled to the London Olympics last summer for a graduate course with Professor Derpi Neroti, one of the 3 times he has participated in an abroad program. Mark was the GWSB Junior of the Year in 2012, as well as being a nominee for the GW Service Excellence Award. Mark actually completed his Bachelor in Business Administration in December 2012, just because it took him only 3 years to complete that degree, and actually took a semester off in between, and he's graduating now in May. He's graduating with a BBA with a concentration in sports management. He achieved a 3.9 overall GPA and a 3.97 major GPA. Mark is now working with the NFL Players Association as a paralegal. Mark has left an impact on every program he has been part of in the School of Business. We feel very fortunate to call him a GWSB alum and are excited to see his engagement continue in the 3 years ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Mark Buente.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean Bijou, GW, and the School of Business. I'm extremely humbled to receive this award tonight. I'd like to start by recognizing my guests, Gretchen Gasteyer, my girlfriend and one of my best friends, Will Thompson, one of my other best friends and been my roommate for the past 4 years, David Ruda, who has been my mentor and advisor in the School of Business for, I can't even imagine how long now, and then Patrick Nero, GW's Director of Athletics and Recreation and one of my greatest role models. I appreciate the recognition tonight, but you all recognized me a long time ago and recognized the potential that I had, and I appreciate you being here and everything that you've given me. I also wanted to mention that although the athletic department did pay me for about 8 months, the speech I'm about to give is coming from me and not from them. Throughout my short time at GW, I've seen countless colonials work to redefine and reimagine what it means to attend this university. Perhaps my time in the athletic department leaves me a bit biased, but one idea that truly embodies what GW has meant to me is the term raise high. Coming from the South, Roll Tide, Hotty Toddy, War Eagle mean much more than their face value support of collegiate athletics. Rather, the terms signify a sense of community, pride, and unconditional support for students, fans, and alumni. They're synonymous with the spirit of each institution. And here at GW, through the work of one of my close friends, Ashwin Narla, and others, raise high has become an encompassing phrase for all that I've experienced. In the School of Business, our curriculum is centered on teamwork, so most of our major assignments are done in groups where members must come together to achieve a common goal. In no other setting is the idea of raise high more evident. People call me a maximizer because I like to take something good and make it great, and I like to take something great and make it excellent. And I've spent the majority of the past 3 years attempting to help my peers and friends succeed. Yet in return, they've all given me so much more. And it is this collaboration that really brings Raise High to life at GW. And while I'm extremely honored to receive this award tonight, I know that there are so many others out there who have worked so much harder than me to push me to be better and to raise higher. So as I move on to the next chapter of my life, I have one favor to ask. Please continue supporting each other. I know that you sophomores and juniors will be up here next year with more inspiring stories and accomplishments because you've worked together, because you've pushed each other, and you've succeeded as a team. And it'll be those accomplishments reached through your collective belief in something better here at GW that will make this university, and my degree for that matter, all the better. Thank you again, and raise high.
I am Rumana Rifat, the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs of the School of Engineering and Applied Science. I'm pleased to introduce our distinguished scholar, John Wittrock. John is a senior majoring in computer science with a minor in mathematics, and he hails from New York City. During his 4 years at GW, John has excelled both inside the classroom and outside. And so I will mention just a few of his activities. John's aggressive engagement in research started early in his sophomore year, and as a sophomore, he started working in Professor Vora's group to design electronic voting systems. And he was the co-developer of Audiotegrity, an end-to-end voting system that is accessible to people with visual disabilities. And this system was used by the city of Tacoma Park for the first time in a formal election during John's junior year. During his junior and senior year, John has been working with Professor Palmer's research group to develop reliable operating systems for mission-critical real-time systems, such as those found in cars, planes, medical devices. So he has actually made very impressive contributions in different areas that has led to publications in different areas of computer science. John has also spent time spent a lot of his time trying to improve the skills of his peers. He has been a peer tutor for computer science department, and he has been an active member of the GW Tech Collective, which seeks to engage students in technology. He also has a passion for theater, and he has worked as a technical hand and sound designer. He is known occasionally to spend an entire weekend dressed as Mr. Incredible from the movie The Incredibles. Is that true? One of his faculty mentors noted an important facet of what makes John such a distinguished scholar is that his exceptionalism extends beyond his personal scholarly accomplishments in academics, in research, and in building a culture of scholarship amongst his peers. So I am pleased to introduce John Wittrock, who is an exemplar of a student scholar and is the C's Distinguished Scholar.
Thank you, Dean Rafat, and good evening to everyone. I'd first like to thank all those who helped me get here tonight. The list is immeasurable, so to be brief, I will simply say thank you to the entire C's community, especially Professors Palmer and Vora, for all their hard work and support. I'm hugely honored to be here tonight, and I couldn't be more grateful. I'd like to just take a moment to reflect on the nature of undergraduate work here at GW. I've had an overwhelmingly enlightening experience during my time here, thanks in no small part to my involvement in various research experiences. The opportunities and resources available to me through the department and school have been extraordinary, as well as the support and advisement of the faculty who have encouraged me to take on great challenges. To those who are about to graduate, I can't give much except my congratulations. But to those who aren't, I can perhaps dole out a little nostalgic advice. Get involved with research as an undergrad. I implore you, I plead with you, get involved with research. There is no better service you can do yourself than to get involved in an academic pursuit that challenges you, your ideas, and allows you to quite literally do something that's never been done before. I know the temptation just to put your head down and get your requirements done, but you would be doing yourself a disservice by ignoring the opportunities open to you here. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge that this research community wouldn't be possible without a collection of interested, engaged, and brilliant students to support each other. I believe that the C's community is one of this school's greatest assets, and that the engineering organizations here are a credit to their members, their leaders, and their school. So thank you to the entire collection of people I've been privileged to work with and get to know over the past 4 years, including the many in this room. You've made my experience here and the experiences of many others absolutely outstanding. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Joe Bacchina, the Senior Associate Dean for Health Sciences in the School of Medicine and Health Sciences. It is my pleasure to present Katherine Katie Lemming to you all. And in order to present her, I first have to define for you the program that she comes from. So how many of you know what pharmacogenomics is? How many of you can pronounce it? Okay. Seriously, you have to go back in Katie's life to understand what kind of student she is. She is defined as an early achiever. She decided to finish high school in only 3 years. Prior to coming to GW, she earned a BS at the University of South Carolina, where she graduated from honors, or with honors, I'm sorry. So this is not her first undergraduate degree. She came to GW and not only enrolled in our Bachelor of Science in Pharmacogenomics, she also enrolled in the PharmD program at Shenandoah University, and this is a partner institution with GW, and we share a program. So Katie is, in fact, right this moment enrolled in 2 programs. She tries to do everything faster and simultaneously. She actually discovered a passion for research, and she will tell you a little bit about that. I don't want to steal her thunder, but I think her work here at GW has, in fact, consumed her, much as some of her colleagues have mentioned to you already, that this is an area worth exploring. She will be recognized by the entire health sciences programs at graduation as our undergraduate student of the year. She was unanimously voted for this honor by all of the faculty across the health sciences, and the health sciences spans many, many programs. There was not a single faculty member who took exception or put forth someone who would qualify even better. With that, I want to present Katie and let her tell you about her journey in research.
Thank you, Dean Pacino, for the wonderful introduction. I just wanted to say thank you to George Washington University and the School of Medicine and Health Sciences and my professors for nominating and selecting me. I'm very humbled by this honor. As you've heard, my journey has been an interesting one. I would not be standing here today without the support of my parents, both financially and mentally. College is a time for discovery, and that was no different for me. As Dean Pacino said, I came to GW with a bachelor's degree from USC, and I thought I had everything figured out. I found out about the pharmacogenomics program in my senior year at USC after I was already accepted to pharmacy school. I decided to delay my entry into pharmacy school to go to the PGX program, and my thought was I was going to go to pharmacy school after graduation. Well, as you've already heard, I made that decision, but the past year and a half, I wasn't sure about that decision because I found out about the world of research. During my second semester, one of my classes entailed a project from start to finish, carrying out a project from start to finish. And it was my first real experience working on my own with the supervision of a professor. As the semester continued, I became more and more interested in research. And I began to question, am I really going to go into pharmacy as my future? Both of my professors, Dr. O'Brien, who could not be here tonight, and Dr. Skasel, were instrumental in helping me figure out what I wanted to do. They advised me to look at both of my options and talk them both out before I made any decisions. They put me in contact with people from the pharmacy program as well as the PhD program at GW. In addition, Dr. O'Brien helped me get in contact with a lab at Children's National Medical Center where I volunteered in a lab this past summer. I realized that research would definitely be a part of my future. Ultimately, I decided to stay with pharmacy school, but with research and the possibility of a PhD definitely in my future. If anything, my crazy collegiate journey has taught me that you should prepare for the unexpected and depend on your professors, family, and friends. As John Lennon said, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. This statement could not be truer, especially when it comes to college. Being flexible is an important part of being successful. Life is always going to collide with school, but the key is finding a balance. When the two are out of balance, we all know it becomes very stressful. This is when your professors, family, and friends come into play. They are your rock. They want you to be successful and to do your best. Depend on them, rely on them. Go and see them when you're having trouble. They will definitely help you out. They will give you advice, you may or may not take it, but they will be there whenever you need them. Take me for an example. Without the help of everyone in my life, I would not be here today. Thank you.
I'm Jean Johnson, Dean of the School of Nursing, and congratulations to all of the outstanding and distinguished students. This is such an amazing evening with such brain power here. I am very pleased to introduce Will Smith, who is the Distinguished Scholar for the School of Nursing. And Will is one of those very rare individuals who actually has been described as never having a bad day. And he's from Texas. He grew up in Dallas. He earned his bachelor's degree in entrepreneurial business and Spanish, so he had a double major, from the University of Texas at Arlington. He served then in the Peace Corps as a Peace Corps volunteer in Niger, West Africa. And after that experience, he had really decided that what he wanted to do in his professional life was to be a nurse. So he came to the GW School of Nursing, and since that time, he has made an incredible mark. Not only has he done a remarkable job academically, but he really is one of those people in the class that kind of keeps people balanced, his classmates balanced. And he does that through a calmness, but also a great sense of humor. He has served on the Student Nurses Association mentorship program. He is the recipient of one of our Hearst scholarships. And he also recently traveled to Haiti as part of a medical mission. And while in Haiti, given his experience as a Peace Corps volunteer, he was really able to help the other students that were on this mission understand what it's like to deliver health care to people who have usually no electricity, no running water, and have a great need for healthcare services. When he graduates from our accelerated bachelor's program, Will hopes to work in community health nursing and pursue a degree as a family nurse practitioner. His passion is really for international work, and in fact, he had just said, you know, sort of, no offense, but I don't plan on living in America. I really want to work in a West African country. And I think that, you know, that's exactly what he'll do. And we expect, the faculty of the School of Nursing, we expect that he's going to be one of the outstanding nursing leaders in international health. So I am very pleased to introduce Will Smith.
Thank you so much. So as you heard, my first degree is in business, and I chose to do nursing because I'd never have to wear a suit again, but that obviously didn't work out for my benefit. Thank you very much, Dean Johnson. This recognition is a wonderful validation that I have made the correct professional choice for myself. I am a natural extrovert with a huge heart whose academic accomplishments must be connected to the goals about which I am most committed and passionate. This coveted degree in nursing stems from my experience in the Peace Corps in West Africa. While there, I realized a great need, not only for qualified medical practitioners, but also medical teachers in developing nations, and I intend to pursue both of these avenues in my career as a nurse. Am I going too fast? I had the coffee, and then, like, I'm just jittery. The enriched curriculum at GW is preparing me well to successfully complete these goals. For example, this March, I joined an interdisciplinary team from GW and participated in rural clinical care for over 800 Haitian people. It was a fantastic experience and great exposure to the population that I want to serve as a nurse. I would like to thank the professors of the School of Nursing for their expertise in their fields and consistent guidance and support. I'm grateful to my fellow classmates, in particular my great friend Mary Wallace, for making this very stressful program quite enjoyable. I am indebted to my mother, who demonstrates daily in her role as a physical therapist that a profession can and should feed your soul. And finally, I owe Emily Bird, the love of my life, for managing much more than her fair share of our life so that I have this awesome opportunity to complete my education at GW and meet my goal of being a nurse for populations of the underserved. In closing, this award has so honored my professional choice and me. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julie Deloya, and I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the School of Public Health and Health Services. It is my distinct honor today to present to you Ms. Carolyn Stalgaitis as our Distinguished Scholar. For those of you who don't know, School of Public Health has a 2-year public health program. We accept students after their second year as undergrads at GW. It's a very competitive program, and then we really our curriculum is pretty jam-packed. A few of these students a year, 2 to 5, will also be selected to be part of a dual degree. So they get a BS in public health, which Carolyn will receive next month, and then they can stay for an additional year to get their Master's of Public Health. I'm delighted that Carolyn is one of these people, so we get to hold on to her for another year as she pursues her MPH in epidemiology. While at GW, Carolyn has been distinguished in many ways. She's received many awards. She's been to this banquet multiple times. She's received the Board of Trustees Scholarship, National Merit Scholarship. She's been in the honors program. I had the honor to meet Carolyn a couple weeks ago just to sit down and talk to her a little bit. She was a very unassuming person, and she said, I did some volunteer work and I did some internships. I was like, that's great, a little unusual. Most, the people come that are pretty high end. I said, could you just send me your resume? She sends me the resume and I'm reading through it and think, is this an undergraduate? She's done research with the American Legacy Foundation, a tobacco control nonprofit. She's worked with health leads, and the research she's done has been very mature, actually doing analyses and statistics and summarizations that I think are far beyond her years. Again, she did some coordination. Well, she led 50 people at health leads, volunteers who she was able to connect for social services with some of the low-income residents of Washington, D.C. She conducted weekly follow-ups with clients. It was just very mature work. Just a very unassuming woman. So she's one of the people we love to see in public health because we are looking for change agents. We're looking for the very dedicated, the intelligent, the motivated. And we know Carolyn is one of those people. So we are so excited to have her for another year. I hope you consider a doctorate at some point. I think you have everything to do that successfully. And congratulations from the school. It's an honor.
Thank you, Dean DeLoya, for the wonderful introduction. I'm honored tonight to represent the School of Public Health and Health Services. As the last student to speak, I felt a little pressure. I wanted to make this count. I also feel some pressure to be brief because I know that the voice is coming on at 8. People have, busy schedules. So as we wrap up tonight, I think that it's important to take another moment to reflect not only on our successes, but also to remember all the help and the guidance that we've received along the way. I know all of my fellow awardees have thanked those who have helped them, but I think it bears repeating. No one ever accomplishes anything alone, including those of us who are on the stage tonight. We rely on the people around us for inspiration, for motivation, for encouragement, and for guidance. Yet, too often we forget to thank those who have helped us, even when we finally achieve our goals. So tonight, while I have a captive audience, I'd like to take my turn to thank everyone who has helped me during my time at GW. Thank you to the advisors, staff, and faculty at the School of Public Health for your untold expertise and assistance during my time here. I'd like to thank all of the students and the staff at the University Honors Program for helping me find a community and a support network from day one of my freshman year. I would like to thank my friends for reminding me to occasionally put down the books and enjoy life. Also to my fellow honoree, Adam, for proofreading so many papers. He deserves an honorary degree in public health. Finally, I owe the biggest debt of gratitude to my parents for 22 years and counting of unwavering support in every single thing that I've ever done. So thank you to all of these people and to all of you here. I am very honored to receive this award.
Well, thank you all for coming. This great event. Congratulations to all the award winners and, of course, all the people they thanked. First of all, a bit of housekeeping. I'll invite all the Outstanding Academic Achievement awardees to pick up your certificates. We're outside in the lobby. And all the student award winners can claim the books that President Knapp described as you leave. So have a good and safe evening and enjoy the rest of the semester. Take care.